Welcome everyone to otakusandgeeks.com Superhero Gaming. This is episode 5. Justin here, and folks, well, you voted for it. You voted for it, and today is the day we're going to be talking about it. X-Men Origins Wolverine for the PS3 is the game that you have chosen to be episode 5 for Superhero Gaming. And folks, let's just talk about it. Let's be honest. When X-Men Origins Wolverine debuted in 2009, fans were left divided. The movie was criticized for its inconsistent tone, rushed character arcs, and infamous representation of our beloved Merc with a Mouth, Deadpool. However, this game's tie-in, developed by Ravensoft and published by Activision, was a huge surprise. While many movie-based games are lackluster cash grabs, X-Men Origins not only transcended the film and just really one of those rare moments where a video game based off a movie is actually better than a freaking movie, but it really did set itself apart of one of the best superhero games of that era, and still to this day, a lot of people's favorite X-Men game of all time. So let's talk a little bit about the story. The game is loosely based off the movie's plot, but it takes significant creative liberties to enhance the narrative. It dwells into Wolverine's past as a member of Team X, his time in the Weapon X program, and his search for revenge after being betrayed by his brother Victor Creed, aka Sabretooth. While the story still incorporates key elements from the film, like Logan's fractured relationship with his brother Victor Creed, aka Sabretooth, it also expanded on his missions with Team X and introduces original sequences that deepen the emotional and psychological exploration of his character. The game's narrative excels because it really did allow Logan's violent nature to shine, unshackled by that movie's PG-13 constraints. This game approached it in a more darker, gritty story. And since it's a game, the video game format has a lot more time to really give us more of a character study, a more deep dive into Logan's full persona and his moral compass as Wolverine, making him feel more of a nuisance than simplified version that we got from the film. And that's what I really did like about it, is that the fact that the game was able to take liberties with the story and do a little bit more of that character development, especially with his missions with Team X and then going to the Weapon X program. And then by the time it goes back to the movie's plot of him trying to get revenge on Sabretooth, you feel a more well-rounded character arc compared to how the movie was. You get to see a little bit more deeper of the characterization. So I feel like the story here, and that's just thankfully because of the a lot of blood and violence, and the fact that the developers decided to go with more of the thorough persona of Logan Wolverine, that we got to see a little bit more of a deeper, more gritty character take on this character. But let's talk a little bit about the gameplay, which is oh so sweet. Let's talk about that sweet gameplay that I just alluded to. The gameplay is where X-Men Origins Wolverine truly shines. It adopts a action-adventure hack-and-slash style of combat reminiscent of God of War, but it's tailored to Wolverine's abilities. The gameplay has some really good combat system here, so let's talk about it first. The game leans heavily into its M-rated freedom because, my friends, is this game bloody? Probably to this day, the most bloodiest game Marvel has ever co-signed off on. Like, okay, by all means, go ahead. I don't think there has been another Marvel game that has this much gore, this bloody, besides probably The Punisher, which I will do down the line. And it is just the gory combat is just amazing. You can really feel the God of War influence and reference, just the way the style is. It's just gorgeous, though. I mean, God of War's gameplay, yes, it was heavily cloned, heavily imitated, but it works here in terms of X-Men Origins Wolverine. Wolverine's claws can rip through enemies with satisfying weight, and the combat features brutal finishes that truly showcase Wolverine's rage. And not to mention, it wouldn't be a Wolverine game without regeneration. And the regeneration mechanic, Wolverine's iconic healing abilities, not only present but are integrated into the gameplay. As Logan takes damage, his body visibly tears apart, exposing muscles, bones, and which then regenerates in real time. And it is glorious, especially just seeing the wear and tear that Logan's going throughout these games, especially during the Team X missions where he just has hordes of enemies just shooting at him. But there is a mechanic that can combat that, and it's something I abuse enough, which is called the lunge attack. And it's a unique mechanic because it allows Logan to close gaps quickly by lunging at his enemies and maintaining the pace of combat, making fights more dynamic. And this bad boy really will come in handy, especially if you're playing it on hard mode and you want to get to another enemy really quickly. Lunge attack, and the great thing about it is it feels like a free flow type of combat, but it really isn't free flow. It's just the way the combo system really is. You can lunge at an opponent and also toss them at the same time. Once you lunge them, you stab them, you can pick them up and throw them to another enemy. And it really just keeps the flow of the combat going. And of course, since this is an action game, there is some skill progressions here. You can upgrade Logan's abilities, unlock new moves, and it keeps the combat fresh throughout the game. And of course, there is also environmental interaction. The levels are designed with destructible environments, which really gives you creative ways to take out your enemies, adding a little bit more strategy to the immense chaos that you're going to be playing with this game. While the combat can occasionally feel repetitive, the variety of enemy types and the sheer catharsis of tearing through the hordes of foes, keeping the experience really engaging. Boss fights include battles against Sabretooth and a towering Sentinel are some of the standout moments in this game, blending spectacle and, of course, challenge. But I will have to say this, folks, gameplay-wise, yes, it will get repetitive at times, but it's so addictive because if you are a Wolverine fan, you are literally, this should just call this Berserker Rage because this is just the embodiment of Logan and that Berserker Rage and just the combat style, the visceral combat style. I'm curious to see how Insomniac Games is going to present their Wolverine game because right now, till this day, X-Men Origins Wolverine is the standard bearer when it comes to just the fighting style and just that Berserker Rage of storytelling as well for Wolverine. But how does the game hold up graphically wise? So let's talk a little bit about the graphics. For a 2009 title, X-Men Origins Wolverine still holds up with some really impressive visuals. Character models, particularly Wolverine, are detailed and lifelike. The game's dynamic damage system is a technical marvel for its time, showcasing Wolverine's injuries and subsequent healing in gruesome details. Environments are diverse, ranging from lush jungles to industrial facilities, each rendering with a level of polish that holds up surprisingly well to this day. The cinematics, powered by motion capture technology, were really kind of at the early stages, but they enhanced storytelling by adding weight to the characters' performances. While some animation did feel dated compared to the modern standards today, the game's gritty art direction, the color palette, the lighting, and its really gritty tone really complements the aesthetics of what the graphics were presenting at the time. And speaking of those performances, let's take a look at some of these performances here.
Kituo, chukua.
I bet you thought you were lucky. This is Logan, checking in.
Logan, still alive after a helicopter crash. Why am I not surprised?
I'm at the site now, sir. The pilot's here, but he's dead. There's no sign of the rest of the team.
They parachuted out but got scattered.
How's Victor, sir?
Your brother's fine. Rendezvous with him at a temple north of your position. You two will rig that area with the C4 he's carrying.
Roger. Goes 401 out.
Hugh Jackman reprises his role as Wolverine, delivering a performance that captures the character's rage, wit, and tortured souls, things that we already are expecting of a Hugh Jackman Wolverine performance. His voice work is complemented by a standout supporting cast, and the actors really do breathe life into their characters, elevating the game's dialogue and adding a little gravitas to the cutscenes. Though the script occasionally falls into the action game cliches, the performances make these moments easy to overlook, and it's just a stellar performance all around. And when you have the actors from the movies reprising their roles for the games, and they're giving the same energy. You can tell Hugh was giving the same energy that he always gives to Wolverine. He did not come here to just lay down his voice and go like, okay, this is just voice work, I'm not going to go in. He went in with his grunts, the performances. You see it in here. This actor, this man, is passionate about this particular role that really launched him into superstardom. Now, earlier I said that this game is better than a movie, and if the movie was like this, I guarantee you we would still be talking about this movie to this day. And you're probably wondering, how is this better than a movie? Well, let me explain the 4 reasons. Reason number 1, unrestrained violence. Unlike the movie's sanitized action, the game leans into Wolverine's ferocity, allowing for more bloody, visceral combat that feels more true to the character. Number 2, expanding storytelling. The game deepens the narrative with additional missions that give more character moments. So you feel like when it comes to these emotional beat moments in the game, it feels more earned than more of like, okay, we got to hit this particular point and move on so we can get to the Weapon X program. We get a little bit more time with Team X. So when we do get those character moments, it feels more relatable. It feels more fleshed out, more cohesive. Number 3, faithful characterization. Wolverine is portrayed as this animalistic, conflicted anti-hero that we fans know and love. And while supporting characters like Sabretooth and Deadpool are giving a little bit more of an impactful role in this particular game. And finally, number 4, spectacle. The game captures the scale and the excitement of Wolverine's world, immersing players in his brutal journey in ways that the film cannot even do. So those are kind of my reasons of why I feel like it's better than the actual movie. So X-Men Origins Wolverine is a testament to what a movie tie-in game can achieve with the right developer and creative vision. Raven Software took a mediocre film and turned it into a game that not only honors the source material, but surpassed it in nearly every single way. Its brutal combat, engaging story, strong performances ensure that it remains a beloved title among X-Men and action game fans. So if you ever felt let down by a movie game, this game will offer you the Wolverine experience that you really truly deserve. Insomnia Games, let's see if you can top this one. This is Justin from OtakusandGeeks.com. What did you think of X-Men Origins Wolverine? Did you play the game back in the day? How would you rank this as one of your X-Men games? Is it one of your favorites, or is it X-Men Legends 1 or 2? Is it the arcade game? Tell me what your favorite X-Men game is. If I haven't covered it yet, because I only did X-Men Legends 1 and 2 in this one. So comment below, let me know what your favorite X-Men game is, and maybe I'll cover that on a future episode. And as always, folks, I have to say thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully we earned your subscription. If we did earn your subscription, we would ask you kindly to please hit that subscribe button and like button as well, and the notification bell so you can always keep to update here on OtakusandGeeks.com. Later days, my friends. We'll catch you on the next review. I should say next superhero gaming episode. Peace.